Imagine you and your friend or group are on an adventure, diving a few feet underwater. Everything is going smoothly until one small mistake changes everything. Their oxygen starts running out, the path disappears, and now they have only one option left: to find a way out of the dangerous waters before their oxygen depletes. Narrow passages, strong water currents, and dwindling oxygen, these were the challenges they faced. Can you imagine what you would do in such a situation? This is the horrifying story of the Kalimba Cave tragedy, the dive that turned into a nightmare. In December 2004, a group of 9 divers planned an exploration of Kalimba Cave. Their objective was to travel from Kalimba Cenote to Bosch Cenote, setting up guide ropes to assist future divers. After completing their task, they were supposed to return the same way. The group was divided into 2 teams. The first team, consisting of 5 members, was responsible for setting the guide ropes and directional markers. The second team, known as the tourist team, had no specific task apart from observing the operation. This team included a married couple, Bill and Jen Downey, along with Michael and Kent. Although Michael and Kent had just met, diving had a way of turning strangers into instant friends. The first team started their journey, unaware of the disaster that awaited them. Shortly after, the second team followed. The cave had 2 main lines, primary routes, and a jump line, which connected one main line to another, providing an alternative route. The critical mistake. In underwater cave diving, arrows are placed to indicate directions. However, there is also a non-directional marker known as a cookie, which is used to mark a diver's entry or progress in the cave. Both were used in this dive. The first team reached Paso de Lagarto, where they installed a jump line. Everything was going smoothly. The second team, following behind, paused when they saw that the Bosch Cenote line was in place, meaning the first team had reached their destination safely. If the line hadn't been there, they would have assumed the first team was lost and would have gone to help. But here's where the critical mistake happened. Someone from the first team removed a cookie that was meant to guide the second team back safely. This caused a navigation error, leading to disastrous consequences. Lost in the depths. As the second team made their way back, they unknowingly took the wrong path. Instead of reaching Kalimba Cenote, they strayed 1,400 feet off course onto a different route. By the time they realized their mistake, they were already 3,000 feet away from safety. Now, they had 2 choices. 1, take a risky shortcut. One diver would attach a rope and search for the Grand Cenote main line. 2, follow the long, safe route, which meant covering a large distance with depleting oxygen. Since time was running out, Kent, the most experienced diver with 125 dives, volunteered for the risky mission. He had a strong emotional resilience, making him the best choice. Meanwhile, Michael and the Downey couple were growing increasingly anxious. They were running out of oxygen, and their window of survival was closing fast. Kent, relying on a guide rope, swam ahead, searching for the Grand Cenote exit. But the rope was too short to reach his target. Michael did a quick calculation and realized a horrifying truth. The distance back was too great, and they did not have enough oxygen to make it. A life-or-death decision. As panic set in, Michael's oxygen ran dangerously low. He had no choice but to stop and hope that someone would share their oxygen with him. But a single oxygen tank has only 2 outputs, meaning only 2 people can breathe from it at a time. Jen was already sharing her tank with Bill, leaving no spare oxygen for Michael. At this moment, Michael realized he was doomed. On the other hand, Kent was still searching for an exit. But the others could no longer wait. They had to make a heartbreaking decision. They left Kent behind. A friend's ultimate sacrifice. Michael and Kent were best friends. Despite knowing that they were in a life-threatening situation, Kent chose to share his oxygen with Michael. He understood the risks. By doing so, he was cutting his own survival chances in half, but he couldn't abandon his friend. Meanwhile, the Downey couple barely made it out alive, reaching Kalimba Cenote just as their oxygen tanks were completely depleted. If they had blacked out underwater, their bodies might never have been found. Rescue divers later recovered the bodies of Michael and Kent. The cause of their deaths? A single mistake, the misplacement of a directional marker. The lesson. This tragic incident serves as a powerful reminder of the dangers of underwater cave diving. One small mistake, like removing a marker, can mean the difference between life and death. A similar situation occurred in the Jacobin cave disaster, where divers ran out of ox